Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sadie, and basically today I kind of wanted to do a bit of a, I guess a little bit of a guide on how to romanticize your life, but with more realistic examples, I guess. So rather than just giving you generic tips, I wanted to give you actual examples, specific things that you can do that will help you romanticize your life. So if you don't really know the concept of romanticizing your life, the way that I would put it is to basically kind of look at the little things in your life, make beautiful moments, and just appreciate everything that you do, every like tiny little things, like having your morning coffee and just sitting in gratitude and just appreciating, yeah, just the little moments in life. So yeah, these are some things that I've written down. There are 20 things, so there will be a couple of examples within a group, but yeah, in general, there'll be 20 things that are just, I think, really realistic examples of just little things that you can do, basically, to, yeah, kind of live your best life and have those little magical moments in every day. So the first thing will be to create a morning ritual. So that would be basically just establishing a morning ritual, a morning routine that you have that you stick to, obviously as much as you can. You know, there are certain days it might be a bit different, but just things like, you know, having your morning cup of tea. Personally, I wake up a little bit earlier every morning before work and I sit and read in bed. It could be practicing mindfulness, meditation. It could even be, if you have a bit more extra time in the morning, if you wake up a lot earlier than you need to for work, you could go to the gym, you could do some exercise, but just creating that morning ritual that you have. Mine is pretty much just wake up, turn off my alarm, grab my journal. I sit and journal for a little bit, just for as long as I need to. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's the full half an hour. And then if I do have any remaining time after that, then I'll sit and read for the rest of it. And yeah, it's just a really nice way to start my day in a sort of slow way. Just not literally waking up and just going to get ready straight away. It's nice and slow. It helps me, yeah, kind of settle into my day a little bit easier. So the next thing is to explore nature. So that could be taking a walk in your local park, that could be going to a nearby forest, going for a hike. We don't really have hiking places in the UK, around me anyway, but yeah, things like big forests, parks, anything like that, even just walking on a field. Yeah, just anything like that, just going out in nature, ideally actually, you know, in nature, not just on like a main road near you, actually kind of surrounded by trees and wildlife and plants, and just really submersing yourself in that. The next one is quite similar to where I mentioned about journaling in the morning. So sometimes as part of my journaling, I write a little list of gratitude. So yeah, just expressing your gratitude, just reminding yourself of things that you're grateful for, I guess. It can be, sometimes it can be the simplest of things, like, you know, I really liked my coffee this morning, and I'm grateful for that. Or I'm really grateful that, you know, things are finally falling into place and things are working out the way I want them to. It can be any end of the scale. It can be tiniest little things, or it can be, you know, this huge thing has happened for me and I'm really excited for my future. So yeah, in general, it can be anything that you want it to be. Purely is just taking that moment to sit and think, do you know what, I am so grateful for that and I'm really happy about that. Again, along the same sort of lines as keeping a journal, is to capture moments. So that could either be with a journal and you know, you're explaining things that happen in your day. I generally tend to either focus on very negative things or very positive things. I don't tend to kind of, yeah, focus on the sort of neutral stuff, which I guess is something I'd like to do a bit more. But it's either, oh my god, this great thing happened to me and, oh, you know, I'm so excited, or this thing happened and it's horrible and everything's going bad, and, you know, it tends to be, yeah, either really bad or really good. So yeah, it's definitely something I want to do a bit more, just to romanticize my life and just, yeah, just kind of, again, gratitude, be grateful for those little things of the days where nothing really good happens, but nothing really bad happens. It was just a day, you know? And it's also one of those things that's really cool to look back on. You know, I mean, if I keep my journals for the next 20 years, I could look back and think, oh yeah, I remember when I was doing that and working here, and, you know, I had these people around me, and, you know, kind of, yeah, get to look back on stuff like that. But another really good way to also do that is to take photos. It's definitely something I've been doing a lot more of recently, I think, especially where I've started posting more fashion and lifestyle content on my Instagram, and just, yeah, taking photos of those sort of, they could very easily be very mundane moments in your day, but, you know, if you take them the right way, they can look really beautiful, and you can just kind of reframe them in your mind. Yeah, instead of it just being, oh yeah, it's just my normal day, it's what I do every day, take a photo of it, make it look beautiful. And the next one is to create a cozy space. But yeah, just things like, you know, picking up little lights or candles and just making, especially in the winter, where it's super dark all the time, just making things feel cozy and comfortable. And yeah, just having like things like blankets, and I've got my cuddly toys over there who I sleep with every night, and they're so cozy. So yeah, just little things like that, just to create a nice cozy atmosphere. The next thing on the list is to embrace slow living. So it's, again, something I really need to prioritize, because I just don't. I mean, you know, you could do things like, I mean, to be fair, I read. That's probably the main thing that kind of grounds me back down to that slow living sort of thing. But things like, you know, going for walks, cooking, just generally chilling out, or even just sitting with a cup of tea and just doing nothing. Like, I just generally just don't do that at all, which, yeah, I definitely need to make sure I'm doing that a lot more. It's for sure something that I try to do at the weekends. I try to relax a lot more because I'm with my boyfriend, but yeah, it's definitely something I want to start implementing into my days, just to, yeah, romanticize my life. So the next thing is to just engage in creativity. So anything that particularly means for you. You know, it could be painting, drawing, writing, you know, it could be if you play a musical instrument, it could be anything like that. I think particularly even if you're not very good at things, you know, things like painting and drawing, you can be bad. You know, it could just be something for you. It doesn't have to go anywhere. It could just be kind of like journaling, just a way to express how you feel in a slightly different format. Because I think, yeah, it's kind of that thing of slow living again, where if you take that time to sit down and just draw, just sketch things, it can be really therapeutic, and it makes you just kind of stop and slow down a little bit. And yeah, again, like, express yourself in a bit of a different way. But again, it could be writing, it could be you just journaling, or it could be creative writing, it could be you making up a story. You know, it really is kind of what you want it to be. I would say more so I would stick to something kind of physical, but it could be, I mean, it could be digital as well. You could do, you know, if you don't have a sketchbook or anything, it could be you're drawing on an iPad or something, right? You know, it's kind of use what you've got. If you're able to go out and get things, that's great, but if you're not, then, you know, kind of utilize what you have. Even if you don't have a proper sketchbook, if you don't have an iPad or anything, just grab a piece of just blank paper and just do anything with it, you know. You could even, you know, if you're not particularly skilled in anything like that, which I am certainly not, you could do things like collages, you know, get some old magazines and create something. You know, it could be, I will get to that in a bit, but it could be a vision board as well. So anything, yeah, physical, I feel like is definitely very, very therapeutic for me, especially, yeah, because I used to do photography at uni, and there was a project that I did where I painted these objects just with white paint, but it was so therapeutic to sit there and paint them and to just spend all of that time in the studio just by myself and not have anybody, yeah, not have anybody around me, nobody interrupting or anything, just me, myself, the camera, the objects that I was photographing, and just, yeah, to have that time was, yeah, it was the best thing. So this is something that I think everybody definitely does, but is to create playlists, basically. So, you know, whatever you've got, if you've got Spotify, you've got Apple Music, anything, create playlists. Ideally create them for different moods, different situations. You know, if you've got like a morning playlist, you've got like an evening playlist. You know, morning could have like more upbeat songs on it, or if you're, you know, feeling like more of a chill morning, you could put some chill music in there. Again, if you're looking for like sort of evening kind of wind down sort of music, again, get chill sort of music in there as well. You know, there are certain times where, I mean, for workouts, for work, I like having really almost kind of, I don't know how to explain it in not a cringy way. Because it's, I mean, generally I think of it as like girl boss music, right? But I feel like that's a little bit cringe. But yeah, just kind of uplifting, powerful music. It just makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you can do anything. Having set music for certain situations or certain moods or anything is the best thing. And yeah, it can really help you romanticize your life. And the next thing is to basically create and build positive relationships. So, you know, that can be friendships, that can be family, that can be romantic, it can be colleagues, anything you like. Just generally anybody that is in your life that you spend time with, that's a relationship. You know, you have relationships with everybody that you know, and just to make those positive and to make those the best that you can, you know, it can really make you feel not only that you're passing your love and your energy onto somebody else, but that they're also doing the same for you. To have, you know, friendships and connections and have those meaningful relationships between people is a beautiful thing. So a similar thing to kind of to my first point where I mentioned about reading. So the literature that you read, or if you don't read any currently, if you start, then it can really, really help you romanticize your life. You know, even just I know the act of reading has been very much romanticized through like book talk and everything, which personally I don't really see a problem with. Yeah, as long as it gets people reading, I don't see that as a bad thing whatsoever. And I think particularly as well, I think if you read literature that is really poetic, it can make you look at life in a completely different way. You know, if you read a line of poetry, of a novel, anything, and particularly if it resonates with you, if you feel it kind of like deep within your soul, it can completely, again, like so many other things, change your perspective on things. It can change your perspective on your life, on the way that you view your life. And yeah, I think even just in general, sitting down with a book, it can really make you feel like, you know, you're living your best life and that you're yeah, really romanticizing it. So the next thing, which I'm not very good at it, is to be spontaneous. It's a little bit vague, but you can't really plan. I mean, you can't plan for spontaneity. Yeah, I generally don't think in a very spontaneous way. I do plan everything. Even just little things, you know, like, oh, maybe I want to, you know, go out for lunch instead of eating the lunch that I prepared. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I've made my lunch. Like, what am I going to do with it, you know? I'm definitely not very good at that, which I think particularly if you're not, it's really good to be around people that are. Yeah, so my boyfriend, he's definitely much more spontaneous than I am, and I sometimes need to kind of bring him back down. I'm like, no, we can't just, like, you know, be spontaneous about everything. We do need to plan things. But equally, he also makes me realize I don't actually have to plan everything, like every aspect of my life. So yeah, it's definitely a very good mix. And I think it's good, definitely good to have people in your life like that. The next thing is to pamper yourself. So, you know, this could be a little tiny thing. This could be just doing a 10-minute face mask, or having a bath, you know, with like your favorite like bath products and like bubbles and everything. Or you could do a full day of it. You know, it's completely customizable to what you want to do, how much time you have. And I personally, I find I struggle a little bit sometimes with, like, I couldn't personally take a whole day to just pamper myself and relax. I think purely because of how busy I make myself. But I know that, yeah, for me personally, just doing a tiny little thing to pamper myself is ideal. So for example, last night, after I went to the gym, I actually went into the sauna as well for just a 20-minute little session in the sauna. I was convinced to do this by my boyfriend because I'd had a bit of a stressful thing happen, and he was like, right, go to the sauna. But yeah, it was a really lovely thing to do, and it only, realistically, getting changed and everything probably took about half an hour. You know, really didn't take that much out of my day, and I felt so much better for doing that as well, and it really helped to clear my head, yeah, and kind of put me back on the right mindset. The next thing is to dress up. So, I mean, this could be anything really. It depends on what you're dressing up for. So I personally like to kind of like dress up for my mood, or kind of like an aesthetic that I'm feeling like. Like today, this is very, it's quite preppy. I've got like a little black skirt on, so yeah, it's quite, and I'm working from home today, so it's very, yeah, I guess just kind of like, almost kind of office wear, but in like a preppy kind of vibe, and it, yeah, just like kind of dressing up, putting on an outfit that makes you feel good, it can completely change your mood. It can be, yeah, it can be like a day outfit, it can be an evening outfit, it could be anything. If you're, you know, going out to a cafe and you dress up a little bit and you put on a cute outfit, it can just change the whole mood of whatever it is that you're doing. And another thing is to learn something new. So I guess a similar sort of thing with, you know, being creative, but it's not necessarily, you know, strictly limited to being creative. You can do anything. It could be a sport, it could be something that you're actually making, it could be knitting, it could be sewing, anything. Just, yeah, I guess taking time out of your regular schedule to do something different and to learn something new. It can be, yeah, a really fun experience, and help you romanticize your life just by doing something kind of out of your regular day, out of your ordinary. And another thing that you can do to romanticize your life is to attend, like go to just cultural type of events, cultural locations. So it could be museums, galleries, you know, theatre shows if you have those near you, or even, yeah, for me, I have to go to London to do that, but it's something that is really, really cool to do every now and then, if you've got the funds to do that. If not, museums are typically free. You just need, well, they ask you to give a donation, but obviously if you're not in the position to be able to do that, then you can just go for free. And yeah, got galleries as well. Like there's so much choice. I think particularly, yeah, really within cities. But if you're close to a city and you're able to go to one, then yeah, it can be definitely like a very cool thing to do. It can be a really nice way to spend your day. So another thing that you can do as well to romanticize your life is to practice mindful eating. So when you're sitting down with your food, you know, whatever meal it is, to not be doing anything else whilst you're eating it. Not be watching anything else, not be listening to anything else, just purely sitting with your food and savouring it, and yeah, actually kind of appreciating every bite that you take. Yeah, it can definitely be very, I mean, obviously it's good for sort of mindfulness and slow living type of practices, but as well as that, very, very good for just romanticizing your life. And again, gratitude, just appreciating the food that you have and everything around you, your environment, you know. Yeah, it all kind of comes into play with that. And another thing is to celebrate your milestones, celebrate your goals that you've reached. You know, it can be really easy to kind of achieve something that you've worked really hard for and then just immediately want to move on to the next thing and not, yeah, celebrate that thing that you've achieved and what you've done. So yeah, definitely celebrating it and actually taking in that moment can definitely be, yeah, very beneficial, I think, for your mental health as well. It, you know, if you reward yourself with something positive after you've achieved something, it can make that positive thing feel even better than it already did. So as I mentioned earlier, you can also create a vision board. So that can come into the creativity side of things, you know, doing a little creative, not necessarily task, but doing a creative activity. And yeah, it can also make you take that time to sit down and think about what you want to achieve and just get really excited for your future. And I think as well, if you get really cool photos on your vision board, one, it can be really cool to see them come to life, but I also think as well it can make you start to actually view your life in that way. Almost kind of like a manifestation type of thing. It can just, I guess, kind of start directing your brain into thinking that way, because obviously it's on your vision board, it's a goal that you want to achieve, and so that photo that you've got on there, you're always going to be looking for an opportunity that might look like that or might lead to that, and then you'll end up, yeah, I think kind of picking up on things that are of that goal that you want to achieve, and it can definitely, yeah, start to change your mindset on a lot of things. And another thing is to volunteer or give back in, you know, any kind of way. It could purely be, you know, you're doing a clear out of your room, of the stuff that you have, and you give it all to charity, right? It could be something as simple as that, or it could be that you know, you volunteer in a charity shop or for an animal shelter. You could also be like a marshal for a race, for like a running race, and help put that event on. I think, yeah, definitely taking your time out to help others and to give back, it can, especially when it's to do with charity as well, it can definitely make you realize what you have, how lucky you are, and just kind of put things into perspective. And also you can meet a lot of really cool people whilst doing that. And finally, the final thing is to dance. So you don't, necessarily have to do this in a class atmosphere or in front of anybody. Can do. I definitely want to start taking dance lessons this year and just, yeah, try to build up a new skill, a new hobby. You can also do it just on your own, alongside, your upbeat morning playlist when you're getting ready for work or school in the morning, and just dance, just have fun. And in general, that sort of movement, when you start moving in that sort of excited, almost kind of giddy way, it can, be translated into the rest of your day. Or even say if you're not necessarily feeling super energetic that morning and you put on your energetic morning playlist, it can start to make you feel more energetic, and it might even get you dancing, and that dancing will make you feel even more energetic and happier and just good in general. The whole kind of thing could just change your entire day. And it goes the same way for if you haven't had a great day in general, and you're going towards the end of the day, and you could do the same thing but make you feel completely different about the day that you've just had. And yeah, it's just, again, romanticizing your life. It can really put your mind into a different perspective. It can really make you feel a different way and make you feel like there's so many good things and you're experiencing all of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any other tips at all, any other good examples of romanticizing your life, definitely comment them down below, and yeah, we can all kind of share the different things that we do. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.